I never got it, why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. So nice of you to join us. Hey, I've got actually a couple of things to say this morning, but we're going to talk about one in particular, and that is the type of expat you need to try to avoid in many instances. But I'm also going to tell you about why some of them are not exactly the type. In other words, there are exceptions to every rule, and so there are for them as well. It's 4 o'clock in the morning here, and I really struggled with this video for a while. We get the ideas, or some of the ideas that we get for these videos come from you, the subscriber. Your comments asking us to cover certain things, or reminding us of certain things, or commenting on certain things often prompt us to think. That's what dialogue is all about. And that's the beauty of YouTube. With that being said, this actually comes from one of my subscribers, one of our subscribers, someone that often is commenting and letting us know things, and it's great. We really appreciate it. So we really do read all your comments. We try and respond to every comment, and we appreciate those comments. Because your input is very valuable. But anyways, let's get on here for a couple of minutes. The runner. We talked about the type of expats that you should avoid. Well, you know what? There was one, and we said it was a broad stroke, and it is, because there are so many types of people you should try and avoid. However, one of them was brought up, and it's a common thread, and that's the runner. All right, the expat who's running away from his or her previous life. You know something? This has been around forever. People have moved to different countries to do this for decades. This is nothing new, and it's certainly nothing that the Philippines has a title for, or should be. The second thing is not everything that they run away from is detrimental. But lately there's been a lot of videos made, and we don't get into this drama about who's right and what's right and everything that goes along with that. But what we will say is this, that some people run away from their previous life because their previous life wasn't satisfying. Some people run away from their previous life because of the mistakes they made in that life that made their life miserable or not as nice as they want. And then there are some people that run away from issues where they were just morally corrupt. Their moral compass was in the wrong direction, and they have committed serious social and criminal offenses. You're going to get, and you're going to become involved with people from all over the world when you come here. It is a given. It doesn't matter how isolated you are. In fact, in Kitchener, where we have a home. We have a home, here in Angeles. We have a condo, and then we built a home in Kitcherow. Now, that's a town that offers absolutely nothing other than simple provincial life for expats. There is no jeepney transportation system. There is no Jollibee. There is no Burger King. There is no American or Western or Australian restaurants. There's, quite frankly, not much. It is an idyllic little town, all right, full of wonderful and great people. And even in a town that size, 7,000 people, they say, I think less. But even in a town that size, there's at least one other full-time expat that lives there, and there are several expats, German, Australian, and American, that have built homes there. And they are secondary homes. They're married to Filipinas, but they live in the bigger city somewhere else. They vacation in their province home, or they have family that lives in that home, and they come in. But my point with that is that you're going to run into them. Now, I'm not saying this about any of the ones that live in Kitcherow because, frankly, we don't know any of them. All right? In fact, we didn't even find out there was a guy that lived there full time until about 3-4 months ago. And he's been living there full time for like a year. So this has nothing to do with them, but this has everything to do with what you may run into and what you have to watch out for. The first thing is the guy that's running away from his past because it just isn't what he wanted it to be. He's like a changeling, okay? He's going to change his past if he can let go of it. And you can quickly tell from a conversation that you may have with someone if they're capable of that, and even if they might fall into that category. Because most of these guys are not going to be 100% accurate in their previous lives. I can't tell you how many Navy SEALs I've met here, or how many Special Forces guys I've met here, or how many, whatever we've met. There's one around every corner. I bet there's 1,000 Navy SEALs in Angeles, of which I doubt there's even one, but there might be. With that all being said, they're not going to come right out and tell you that. Kind of, I left because of this. Then there are the guys that, there were guys. Oh, let me hold on to. I apologize. My little brother is sending a DHL package to us. It's that time of year, or actually that time every 3 years. One of our credit cards is renewing, and the new cards shipped to his house, and he's shipping them to us. Anyways, so to go through what I said is that, you're not going to get the full story. Then you're going to find the guy, the runner, who made mistakes in his life. He wasn't a product of his environment. He created that bad environment. And to be honest with you, he recognized it. And he said, I'm going to start over. I've reached a point in my life where I want to do that, and I'm going to do that. And for the most part, these guys can do extremely well here. And I don't mean financially. I mean, they're going to do very well being happy and content. They've recognized what it is in their life. But then you're going to run into the final type. And these are the guys you want to try to avoid at all costs. And these are the guys that are running away from crimes or moral issues. They've decided that it's impossible for them to have a life because of the things they've done in the past. Now, many of these guys have never been caught for anything, but they've scammed people, they've stolen from people, they've done all kinds of things. All right? You know what? Whether they're guilty of these things or not, or whether they're right or wrong, that's all for something else. A different video, I guess. And maybe out of my wheelhouse, because I don't have the way to look at it all. But the issue is these guys may never change. They're running because they have to run. They're running because while they may still be able to internationally travel, they cannot deal with what they've done in the U.S., whether it's through stigma or whether it's through eventually I'm going to get caught type situation. Avoid these kinds of guys. And the problem with this is that it's impossible to avoid it unless you know. And these guys, they're running because they're scammers. You know, we talk about the Philippines and getting scammed by girls. You know something? Some expats are just as bad. We know expats that have gone into business with other expats only to have gotten scammed out of their money, only to have been bullshitted all the way up. And their recourse is extremely limited. I mean, the Philippines really doesn't give a shit about you being scammed by another foreigner. They barely give a shit about you being scammed by a national. So, avoiding these people, how do you do this? How do you recognize them? Well, the only way you recognize them is to listen and then verify. You listen to them, and then they're going to give you pieces and parts of their lives that just don't make sense. And at that point, that's a red flag that tells you you should stay clear of that individual. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, we have a great group of expats that we kind of hang out with, chit-chat. We have a great group of Filipinos that we hang out and chit-chat with, okay? We have people in our group that I am certain are runners. But I don't think they're those kind of runners. But they exist, and they're going to exist, and they're never going to go away. Be careful. Trust but verify. That's really an old saying, okay? You got to be careful. The runner is the most dangerous individually to you type of expat to be around. You have the ability to take care of changing all the other types of people, but you have no way until it's too late to deal with the runner. So where does this all take place? I mean, is the answer here to not be around other expats? I don't think so. In fact, I actually disagree with that theory. And I know a lot of you limit your interactions with expats. Some of you are very much isolationists, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And if your lifestyle works well around that, then great. But for those that crave the intellectual communication, dialogue, the stimulating parts of other people's opinions, then you have to be careful. And so we just caution you, be very careful. Keep your private finances, keep your private things private so that nobody has access to that except those that you absolutely have to give access to. Keep your money in your pocket. You don't need to, you are doing nobody a great favor by investing in other expats. If they were such a good businessman, they'd be doing it here and they wouldn't need you. I'll give you one quick example. If they're such a great business guy, if they have such a successful track record, they should be able to pick up the phone and they should be able to put venture capital money together in a matter of days. Successful business CEOs, COOs, individual owners, their networks are much more significant than people who aren't in that business know. Trust me, access to money is not a problem. You should never have to borrow money or this is such a great deal, you should invest type of situation from others. I highly discourage it. Hey, if you found this interesting, thanks. Please subscribe, hit that thumbs up. Otherwise, Arlen and I are going to say, have a great day. Bye.